Hi everybody, I'm Todd and I hope you're having a great week. Today I'm going to take a look at an affordable 500 series EQ. It's the DBX 530, and don't let the price fool you. This EQ has a feature you don't often find on hardware. Okay, so I've loaded up a few individual tracks here so we can try out audio on a few different instruments. We'll start with kick drum here. I'm going to get it started. I'll add it in. I have this set up to add some additional thump on the low end here, sitting in and around 60 hertz, and then around 200 hertz. I'm just kind of adding some roundness to the sound, and I'm also controlling a bit of the boxiness in the upper frequencies here. Now you can see as we boost those frequencies, more subtle on the top end. On the bottom, and of course depends what sound you're trying to achieve, but fairly typical for what I would expect in these frequency ranges for an EQ on a kick drum. Now we'll move over to snare. Now I've created a mono mix on a drum bus here so we can get an idea of what it'll do. Be better here if I had two of them so we'd have it in stereo. Nonetheless, we'll give it a try. Now I'm going to take a look at bass. I'm going to try and add a little bit of depth to it, but control muddiness, boxiness, and maybe add a bit of attack. Now for vocals, I want to get rid of some of the lower frequencies that aren't needed, but still add some body to the voice. I'm also going to try and bring out some brilliance, but control any boxiness that happens.
Mayday, mayday, is there anybody who can help me, help me? I don't think my heart is working lately. I can hear it calling for you, yeah. You show me beauty in life. You put me first all the time. No wonder I'm on a high when I'm with you, oh yeah. You like the things that I like. If you don't know, you always give it a try.
Now I've got a mix that I've set down to mono so that we can try it again with this EQ, just for general tone shaping. Now, of course, those are only a few tracks, a couple genres. It's going to vary depending on your application, but I wanted to give you an idea of some of the range the EQ offers. Now I'll do a couple of technical tests. Now, quickly taking a look at self-noise, this is not a scientific test. I simply have the unit installed in my 500 rack. It's connected directly into my Antelope Orion 32+ Gen 3. Right now I have it on bypass, and you can see here that in the upper frequency range, sitting around minus 121 dB, something like that. Very low in the lower frequencies. This one frequency that's jumping up here is one of my lighting controllers in the studio, so not much I can do about that right now. Obviously, I don't use that when I'm producing music. I'm going to go ahead and put the EQ on. And I've zeroed out all the controls on the EQ, so we're kind of sitting it flat. We're not boosting or cutting any frequencies here. And we can see that the top end here, the noise has jumped up to maybe, 118.8. So maybe we're getting another 1.5, 2 at the most dB in noise up at the highest frequencies. And again, in the lower range is very little difference. So not a whole lot of noise created this. Again, it's not scientific. I do have Mogami cables connecting up all my gear here, so I'm trying to keep the noise level from the system as low as possible. But overall, I'm going to say this is well below the threshold of what you would need to be usable. Now I'm going to try to show you the range of the boost and cut as well as the widths of the Q available on the 530. I'm going to do it over a bed of pink noise so you can see and also hear in the background the changes that are being made. Now I've set all three bands in the notch mode here. It actually has a click at the end. A lot of people think that's off or something. What it does is it actually turns each band into a notch filter. And so it's going to attenuate as much as 40 dB across that, which of course we use on plugins all the time if we're trying to find frequencies that we either like or don't like. On hardware, we don't see that as often. So again, I'm going to turn on the tone generator with some pink noise, and you'll see the three bands. So these are the three notches. You see right away the top two bands appear to have a bigger notch than we're getting at the bottom with the lowest band. I'm going to turn that one up a little bit first, change the frequency, and see if we get any difference. You see, as we start to get higher in frequencies, I'm getting more attenuation. So the notch on the low frequency band is not as pronounced in the bottom frequencies. Now I'll do the top one and I'll move it as well up to the highest frequency. And finally, the middle band. And of course, you'll see that the notches are not as narrow as we can get with a plug-in, but nonetheless, if you like to sweep with hardware, this can be a good way to look for frequencies again when you're just trying to find something and you don't need to really surgically cut out a very, very narrow range. Now, like other DBX 500 series modules, this unit is fully enclosed and shielded, but let's open it up and have a look inside. There's only 4 screws. Now, DBX says this is a circuit-for-circuit recreation of their 905 series EQ. I don't have one here to compare it to, so I can't tell you for sure one way or the other. But as you see, it's a circuit board design here. Number of capacitors, we have ICs on here. But everything seems to be well laid out, very clean design. Nothing, nothing that I would say quality control doesn't look like it's here. This unit looks like it's well made. Now, I won't spend a lot of time on features and specifications. There will be links in the description below. A couple things to keep in mind here. This unit, of course, 500 series, it only draws 85 milliamps, so it's going to be well below the power that's being provided by pretty much any rack that I've seen. And if you want more information on 500 series racks, I have a couple of videos available on that. But overall, this is going to be very compatible. This unit has an input and output max of plus 22 dBU, so not the most headroom of all units here. My converters, the Orion 32+ Gen 3, are plus 24 on either side, so I'm not taking full advantage of that. But for most applications, plus 22 should be okay in the 500 series. And frequency response and noise is where I'd expect it to be. Again, certainly in this price range, I think the unit does fairly well. Now that we've done a few tests, I'll give you my final thoughts. The DBX 530 is a fully parametric 3-band EQ with shelving available on the upper and lower band as well. And it sits in the just under $300 price point. So very affordable and really gives you a lot here. It's not semi-parametric, it's fully parametric on the 3 bands. So that is a pretty big deal here in this price range. Now, the build quality looks pretty good on it. I have to say there's nothing that makes me think it's going to break down anytime soon. The controls are very solid on it. Of course, it's 500 series. We have concentric knobs, so it's a little tough to get into compared to a rack series unit. But nonetheless, there's some space here. It's not as crowded as other units that I've worked with. In terms of the sound quality, I think it does a pretty good job. Certain instruments, I prefer it on drums. That's actually okay on bass for me. Not my number one choice for vocals. I think it gets maybe a little bit brittle in the top frequencies, especially if you start boosting a lot. But overall, if you're using it within reason, under control, I think it actually works quite well. So would I recommend this? Well, it depends. If you're looking for a situation where you can get into perhaps multiple channels at an affordable price, this could be a great way to do it. Again, at under $300, you can start adding up quite a number of channels. You can use it in stereo applications, as well as, again, for maybe you want to EQ a drum set. So great that way. If you're looking for a high-end EQ, this is not going to be it. It's certainly not a do-it-all EQ. The notch filter is a pretty cool feature on this. It's not as narrow as a lot of plugins, but again, it's something you don't often see on an EQ in a hardware anyways, and certainly not in this price range. So overall, again, the recommendation depends on what you need it for. And if you're looking for other ideas for gear for your studio, check out one of the videos on the screen. I appreciate you joining me today, of course, and I look forward to seeing you next time.